Next category that I'll be talking about is regular cryptocurrency exchanges. These are exchanges where you can buy Bitcoin plus a whole plethora of other cryptocurrencies. First one that we're going to be talking about is Coinbase. It's definitely the biggest one in the US. They have probably over 30 million plus verified users. Coinbase's fees are a little high, probably the highest out of this category of exchanges. However, they are the most well known. They're probably about to IPO soon, so if that gives you a little bit more, I don't know, safety, validation, whatever you're looking for to use a cryptocurrency exchange, you have that. Coinbase is the more noob friendly app. It's got really high fees, so I definitely recommend you stay away from there. But it's got a super easy to use interface. And Coinbase as a company has been around for one of the longest and has probably one of the most impeccable records in terms of security. We'll start with Coinbase as a company first, and then we'll dive into the two separate venues that they have. Coinbase as a company has been around for years. They've got an impeccable security record, so you can't go wrong there. However, Coinbase does have very high fees, especially the Coinbase app. So I would definitely tell you to steer clear from there, or else you're going to pay a lot in fees, where you could easily use something else and pay a lot less. So I would definitely recommend you to stay away from that. We'll talk about Coinbase as a company first, and then we'll dive deeper into the two separate venues that they have for trading. Coinbase as a company has an impeccable security record. They've never had hacked or lost funds, which is awesome because a lot of exchanges have experienced this. On top of that, Coinbase also executes strategies for companies like MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin. So if it's good enough for MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin, chances are it's probably good enough for you. However, the one thing I really dislike about Coinbase as a whole is they always go down when it's super volatile, and I don't understand why. They've had years to fix it. I don't know if it's something that's unfixable or what the issue is, but they seem to go down a lot, and it happens in peak volatility. And that's, if you're a trader, that's exactly when you want to be trading. And even if you're an investor, that might just be the best time to get in. So the last thing you want is your exchange to be down. So that is the one, I think, most critical flaw against Coinbase. And if we look at Coinbase Pro, you're gonna get the same deals because it's Coinbase at the same time. However, Coinbase Pro is the more trader friendly. You got your order books, you got lower fees, and so I think Coinbase Pro, if you're a bit more advanced in trading and you don't want just a simple buy and sell kind of user interface, and if you want more charts and more functionality with your buys and sells, I think Coinbase Pro is definitely the way to go. Your fees will be lower on Coinbase Pro versus Coinbase app, which is another benefit. However, the fees are still pretty high, and I think it goes 1 and 2 in terms of Coinbase and Coinbase Pro in fees in this category. The next exchange we're going to talk about in this category is Gemini. Gemini was founded by the Winklevoss twins. It is probably one of the most secure, highly regulated exchanges. They've got so many different certifications. It's probably one of the safest exchanges out there alongside Coinbase. In terms of fees, the fees are comparable to Coinbase. Not much of a difference other than if you're a maker versus a taker. And I didn't explain that earlier, but are pretty simple to understand. You are a taker and you're paying the taker fee if you do a market order. Market order just means you're buying at whatever the price is currently on the market. You are a maker if you make the order, meaning you have a limit order placed at, let's say, $38,000 and the price is trading at 38.1, and then eventually the price trades at 38,000 and it fills that order. You, in that case, were a maker as opposed to a taker, and you would pay a smaller fee on Gemini for that, which is kind of nice. If you just set up your orders, you will save a little bit on fees that way. Next exchange I want to talk about is Kraken. Kraken is an incredibly reliable exchange. I don't think I've ever experienced them going down on me once. Their fees are a lot lower than both Coinbase and Gemini, and just like most exchanges, they save you more fees if you are a maker versus a taker. Unlike Coinbase, I think Coinbase is one of the few exchanges that kind of just keeps it the same throughout until you get to much higher levels. I also think Kraken will probably be one of the exchanges at the forefront in utilizing the Lightning Network. So I think that's really awesome, and I think supporting the companies that are building the infrastructure and testing the infrastructure that is going to be, used for the masses. I think that's really important for, if I'm going to be paying fees somewhere, I'm glad it's at least going to Kraken, and they are looking to develop more things that are going to help this whole ecosystem. So at the end of the day, your fees are going to go to a company, and that company has a mission that they're looking to set out, and at least these fees are going towards a company that is more aligned towards what I'm trying to accomplish as well. So that's kind of nice. The next exchange I want to talk about is Binance US. Binance US by far has the lowest fees of all the exchanges that I talked about in this section. They come at a 0.1 fee versus the highest in this category being a 0.35 at Coinbase, and they're at a 0.1. So they are much lower in fees. However, I've had an issue with Binance US that I haven't really suffered anywhere else, and that is sometimes my bank account / card won't work even though it was just working previously, and support is pretty responsive, which is really nice. However, this has just been an issue that's been reoccurring for me, and it's really quite annoying. And if I can't move my money in and out of the exchange, that's not really great. I can't really do much with that. And I know I'm not the only user that's had this kind of issue. I've seen more anecdotally on Twitter and elsewhere, but I really do like the exchange. It's got the lowest fees by far. They are pretty active in listing coins. CEO is very responsive on Twitter, so I think if they could kind of get the whole funding ACH thing figured out on their end, I would definitely recommend this exchange to even more users. But I think it's worth trying. Maybe you have better luck than I did and you don't run into any of the issues, but in terms of all the things you kind of want from an exchange, it's got the lowest fees, you can dollar cost average. It's got a lot of what you're looking for. So quick wrap up on the regular cryptocurrency exchanges. Coinbase, highest fees, probably stay away from there. Binance US, lowest fees. However, I have had some issues personally that still are not resolved. And then if you're looking for probably the most reliable and trustworthy and best exchange on here, you're probably going to be between Kraken and Gemini. And Kraken does have lower fees, so that might be enough to push you over to use Kraken versus the others.